Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tarot and Tea with the beautiful Kate May from the UK. I am so very excited for this episode because I am a Cancerian. July 2nd is my birthday. So welcome to Cancer season. I woke up with a couple downloads that were kind of a surprise for me about this season. But first, we're going to turn to the tarot and Kate and see what's going to come through. But, let's just do a check-in. How was Taurus season or Gemini season for you?
Gemini. Yeah, Gemini season was good. So I think we spoke last time about communication with Gemini and the technology side, reaching out with that communication. And I had loads of like podcast things come in. I had magazine work come in. So as far as communication on, and it's the third house, which is writing. So I was trying to manifest all the creative work that I've been doing with all my books this year. So that seemed to really move forward in Gemini season, but also sociably. I mean, we did have a bit of sun. We've got a little bit of sun today, which is quite not uncommon for this time of year, but uncommon for the UK. So sociably, it was huge. I've been out and about and I've seen so many different friends. So it's been a really fun Gemini season, really fun. How about you?
Yes, I definitely prioritize my inner child. And so I just got back from a retreat in Canada and it really did feel like camp, which I loved. And one of our gifts on the last night, there was a 90s themed party. And so all the gifts sort of piggybacked on that theme. And we got gifted a denim backpack. And I don't have a backpack. I don't own a backpack. And so there was something visceral, like a visceral feeling that when I put on this backpack and was like walking around and going through the woods, I felt my little girl like so excited. Like I was like, this is my backpack. And that is something that, I like the inner child when it comes to like dreaming and unicorns and fantasy. But when it comes to like, getting in the mud and splashing in the water and being very carefree about what I look like or, the schedule, the timeline, I was able to tap into that. And it was so freeing. I loved it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and Gemini is fun energy there, fun with people.
Yeah.
Um, so that's great. That's great. I'm excited for your retreat later on as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I don't know, the whole last month just seems busy, but connecting, busy with connecting and exploring that curious side. So it's going to be interesting to see what Cancer brings because Cancer is the complete opposite. Really, it's more homely, isn't it? It's not as sociable. It's more, yeah, the fourth house, your roots, your family. So it'll be interesting to see what occurs. I've got a birthday. I've got my son's birthday at the end of June. So he's a double Cancer actually. He's Cancer ascendant and Cancer sun. So
Oh,
super sensitive, but super lovely.
yes. Yeah. Especially in a male. Like just it's usually males with any Cancer placements in the top three are I always just want to hug them. Like you see them and you just like I know you give good hugs.
Yeah. My dad's a Cancerian as well, so I've got it around me. It's nice. And Cancerian people tend to, because of the nurturing element, tend to be like the one of the best parents, very nurturing parents as a rule. As a
Yeah.
rule, love to
Yeah.
give.
And it's interesting because, just learning more and more about astrology, when I first learned about astrology, as most people, you really just gravitate towards your sun sign. You're like, oh, this is who I am. And as you dip into the chart, you're like, oh my gosh, like that is the tip of the iceberg. And with the moon, a Cancer moon, very psychic and sensitive because it's your emotional body and your nervous system and a lot of your inner child. And then that ascendant, I know a lot of ascendants that are Cancers, and those are just the most amazing homemakers and moms, and they just have the best recipes and they know how to fix everything, and they're just such beautiful beings. And I am a Cancer sun, and it's the sun is like what you're striving to embody. It's what you're moving towards in this lifetime. And so the older I get, I familiarize myself more with that Cancerian energy. But I used to kind of have shame, like I was broke. It's like, do I have a cooking wound? Like, why am I not so Cancerian? It's like, well, I'm a Leo rising. It's like, I'll be Cancer if I look good doing it. And that didn't make sense to me. And now I'm like, okay, I get it. And so I actually am embracing more of that Cancerian energy as I step more into my truth and more into really that goddess energy. And I like to look at the sun as also your goddess. Like, I nurture others in the realm of the spirit world.
Yeah.
So I think we have to kind of take note of where the Cancerian placement is.
Absolutely. And Cancerians, usually Cancerian ascendants more so, they are what they are. There's no hiding. Although they've got the shell there, actually they wear their heart on the sleeve, and they're very truthful. And what you see is what you get usually with the Cancerian, particularly with the ascendant there. Yeah, I mean, with the sun, it's you at your core. It's that nurturing element. And we've got what did I say? We've got Venus, and what was the other planet I said?
Mercury.
Mercury in Cancer today as well. So we've got Venus, the planet of love. So Venus and Cancer connection is just lovely, very, literally lovely. Represents two of cups in the tarot. So two people coming together or united, negotiations, but very warm and comfortable. And then with Mercury, this month we should find that there's a lot more like either softer ways of approaching things, dealing with things in a more harmonious manner, calmer manner, not necessarily being too aggressive. We'll wait for Leo season to get the fire burning, but this month should see a lot more calmness, particularly in the way that we reach out and the way that we mingle with others there, particularly with Venus connection. I mean, Venus and Mercury in Cancer, I think it's lovely, a lovely combination for everyone, really, no matter where your placements are. Should bring as well, with Venus aspect, it should bring quite harmonious situations to finances as well, people's values around it. It should feel more comfortable dealing with anything to do on a material aspect, should feel more comfortable this month. And communication feeling more comfortable as well there, we see.
And always speaking from the heart. I feel like the Mercury moving into Cancer is going to really come from a very nurturing place. And with all that said, I also want to just like bring in the reminder that there's that high octave and low octave. There's that light and then there's that shadow. And Cancer, I very much familiarized myself with Cancer energy because it's the first thing that I dipped into about astrology. And they go in their shell, like they go into the darkness, they go into the womb space, they go into the unconscious, and that's where they find their nurturing. That's where they heal, and then they come out when they're ready. And so Cancerians do have, I think that sometimes they're a little underestimated because they've got those claws, like they took down, the Achilles heel, like Hercules. Like I think that there is that aspect of um suppression. Cancers can really suppress. They can suffer in silence a lot. And they don't move straight. They move side to side when they're moving forward. And so they do approach things very differently. They can be calculated, so that can be really great because it can be innovative, or it can be a little vindictive if it's like you've done them wrong. And so when you think of this Mercury moving into Cancer, yes, speaking from the heart, or Venus moving into Cancer, yes, like this beautiful love and union, there also can be this invitation to look inside of like, where have you not been truthful when it comes to your heart and your unconscious and what is inside the shell, and where have you maybe been living for other people or expectations of what somebody projected onto you. And that can create some upheaval. That, I mean, the card I drew earlier this morning when I was tapping into the energy was chaos. And I think of chaos is only chaos if you're not able to understand the duality of what emotions bring. And Cancers are known for emotion, but that doesn't always mean sweetness and tenderness. It also means like I feel everything and I need to create space for everything and not project it onto other people, but know that with everything comes valuable lessons and a deepening of my understanding of the human experience. And so I do think that as we move into Cancer today, as we start this journey through the Cancer season, be prepared for it all and know that nothing is against you. If there's a storm, if there's anything that's coming that feels uncomfortable, just be flexible. move side to side. The storm will pass and you will pivot and you will adjust and you will get through it and you will be better because of it if you don't resist it or feel shame for what you're feeling.
Yeah, and I think I mean they're super sensitive Cancerians, but they can be a bit moody with that because they're
Yeah,
very in tune with their emotions. Sometimes it can get the better of them, so they can have a bit of sulk. It can be moody. It rules the fourth house, which is home and family. So depending on what's in your fourth house or where what house Cancer sits in, that's really where what house Cancer sits in. That's going to be the energy that you're going to have this sensitive vibe in over this season. But you know, the connection to the home and family, so you might feel literally, especially from going from curious and outgoing Gemini there, you might feel like, actually I just want a bit of me time, I want to go in my shower, I just want to be at home. Even if it's really sunny and everyone's inviting you out, you may just feel like, I want my creature comforts around me, or I want the people around me that I feel safe with. So literally gone from one extreme to the other. This month we could just quieten down a little bit or go within our shower while we figure out who we are, what we want, what we need to nurture to bring out the best in us, so that we don't have that oversensitive side there, and that we're not hurt. You know, we could have put ourselves right out there last month, so we could be retracting a little bit to protect ourselves. But within that is all growth, all growth. So I think, like you're saying, sidestepping things and finding different ways to go around rather than just staying in the shell and perhaps sulking or being a little bit the victim there. Figure out a way that you can navigate around situations and come back with that claw to snap back into things, I think, this
exactly.
month.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay, well, I think we should just get into it. I'm gonna let you intuitively pick whatever the cards, like whatever you're feeling. We've been doing three, and I feel like that's a good
Yeah.
number. But you know, sometimes more fall out, and we're not gonna push them away.
Let's have a look then. What's the vibe? What do everyone need to know? Four of Wands is the first one. Love that. That's
Yeah,
celebrations. That's recognition. It's got the castle in the background, so very much home. Four is foundation, so again, that reflects to the home. But comfort as well, the Four of Wands. It's Venus in Aries is the astrology connection. So we've got that lovely Venus, and definitely that love of what we're doing, what we're working towards. It's a four, so it's reaching positive milestones. So the Four of Wands is great for recognition and feeling comfortable. So we start off definitely feeling comfortable, feeling like we're achieving things, we're in the right space, and we're working towards our comfort and security with the right people. There may be someone special that you could be working with particularly, or with somebody that you're buddying up with, connecting with, but you're building a foundation that is working. So it's based this month on this card, based on a great foundation, reaching positive milestones, success and victory and recognition. So we're loving that, loving that.
love it.
Okay, so then the next one we have balancing our resources. So this card for me, Two of Pentacles, this is about overcoming material problems, or where we're juggling choices and decisions on a material connection, but we're overcoming them. The worst is behind us, the choppy water is behind. So now we might have two resources or two ideas, but we're able to juggle them. We're able to master that juggling act. And we might have to prioritize things. You know, if we reach a positive milestone, we get so far, and then we might find, you know what, we need to juggle our resources, but we also might have to prioritize what's important at the moment, so that we don't end up pouring from an empty cup there. So we could have some choices coming in. Are we on the right page? Are we continuing doing what we want to do, or do we want to shake things up a bit? This is Jupiter in Capricorn energy, and we actually have the full moon in Capricorn as well this week. So the focus will be on getting down to business, really, and important work ethics there. So on a material level, definitely we should be feeling more comfortable to be able to juggle things and to be able to prioritize what we want to do. And then we have the Page of Swords. Now, pages for me, they're like the seed of a situation. They're the idea. So I kind of feel like these are separate. I feel like these are together and this is a little bit separate. So pages, it can be a person, the court card. So we could be talking about either somebody either younger than yourselves that you might be working with there. This particular card comes in for me where there's a lot of mental health energy, that get some help and get some support. But on a general level, the page for me is like new ideas, page of swords, swords are mental. So I feel from that juggling, from that prioritizing, we're going to come up with some new ideas. And if you look in the picture, there's lots of little birds above his head. And that for me indicates all, you know, when your mind is just can't shut down because you've like twittering away, you've got all these ideas going on. So there's lots and lots of ideas from this prioritizing and reaching these goals. We're then going to be like, you can't stop me now. Got lots more planned, got lots more ideas. But as a page, it's just that beginning. So it looks like this month is just going to be perhaps finalizing a few parts and then really stepping into some new thoughts, some new energy, and perhaps having to really again prioritize, but maybe write things down rather than have everything in our head. It might be more easier to write things down and to get out on paper what it is we want to do, but there's going to be lots of ideas. But as a page, it's just like the beginning, it's just the seed, it's the idea. It doesn't say whether it's going to work or not. It just says we're going to come up with lots of ideas, or working with somebody perhaps in a new environment. As a page, it's going to be someone younger or somebody new in a situation, so new energy is coming in. And I do feel like we need to put another card on top of this to see to see where this is going, and I'm glad we did. It was the Magician. So those ideas absolutely work. Again, as a one, a new idea turns into manifestation, got all the tools to do the job, as above so below. So the ideas that are above do look like they're going to start to form reality and come down to earth, to be able to form, to be able to bring matter and form. So the Magician is excellent. So there's no stopping us, no stopping us. I would probably say enjoy some celebrations of where you've come, how far you've come. You know, we don't want to be all work, no play. So I would say, like, enjoy at the beginning of the month, particularly enjoy your hard work. You've earned some time off. You can rest, recuperate, or you can just bask in that glory. And then we get a little bit more serious into, okay, what's next? We've reached this goal. What's next? And anything is literally possible. Some great ideas will be coming in after maybe homing in a little bit on what's important with those priorities.
Yes. Wow. I feel I don't know if I mentioned it a couple times, but you know, there's a lot of talking when you do this work, as you know. So you're like, where did I say that? But recently I've really been diving into it was last month. Now I'm remembering, but because Colin reads the books, but the conversations with God.
Yes.
So there was that one sentence that, you know, spirit moves through us first with feeling, then with thought, then with experience. And so when we have that card that's like, okay, these thoughts are going to be coming forward, I think that they're probably going to be initiated by the movement of a lot of feelings, because the Cancerian energy with Mercury there and Venus there and the sun there, the sun always puts light, you know, it shines a spotlight on this part of your chart. And so whatever feelings are up, I really encourage you to write them down, because we let so much slip away because we hear things in like our own voice, you know, our own sense. We're like, that's not important, or that's not profound, or that's not worth writing down. But then when we revisit it, it's like, this is amazing, or this is something I needed to purge or heal or know or gift away. So I think that whatever you're feeling, whether it is, you know, an idea or joy or even rage and anger, I think that it's really important to allow yourself to let it go full cycle and get into the realm of thought, get on the paper, and then see how you feel afterwards, because it is our habit to push things down if they're not suitable to the circumstance that we're in at the moment. Like, I don't have time to get sad, but
Yeah.
really sadness is the portal to transformation usually.
Yeah, and you know, my favorite tarot card is the Chariot,
Hmm.
and the Chariot is Cancerian. So that's right now. And whenever I do predictions, if I've got the Chariot come up, I'm like, oh, around June time, this is going to be happening. And the Chariot is like staying on track of things, staying focused. We have our day-to-day things, we might have our emotions, things that could easily take us off track. But the Chariot energy is like we're homing in on something now. We're coming back to our roots, we're coming back into something, and we're victorious and we're successful in that coming back. But in order to stay like that, we've got to stay focused, we've got to stay homing in and not be distracted by crazy thoughts that might pop in, or unsettling emotions or anger or anything. It's important to acknowledge it, let it go, and then move on from it, not to let it disturb us in that track of this is where we're heading now.
Yes. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna lean on. I grabbed the fairy deck. So we're gonna see if by Doreen Virtue what the fairies are gonna bring us this season and what guidance comes through. So the first one, gosh, kind of piggybacks on my chaos card is breaking free. So, I love cancer. I love cancer season. I love everything about it. But I think that I am being called to talk about the shadow aspect of it just so you guys understand the power of unleashing what you've been suppressing. Unleashing, you want to look into like that black moon Lilith placement in astrology. You want to look into the fourth house. It's your IC is there. And so actually, no, that's not always true. The IC is opposite of your MC. Traditionally, it will be in the fourth house, but sometimes it's not. But where your IC, how do you say it? Kulai? Do you remember? It's astrology placement that is about your home, like your roots, your home life when growing up. And
Yes.
when I leaned into that, mine's in Scorpio, and it's not a very comfortable placement. It's a lot of stuff that is like, ouch, but that is where the medicine was for me in this life. That is what I needed to learn. And so when you go and you look at your IC in astrology, you can start to unpack like, what did I come in to experience right off the bat to set up what could have been perceived my root system, and where are the lessons that I can extract from that to know, oh, that wasn't how it was supposed to be forever. That's what I needed to know about maybe what not to do or heal from or forgive. But we need to break through or break free from all of
It's
the
interesting. My
what
descendant is Cancer. So my
oh
ascendant is Capricorn, but my descendant is Cancer. And even though I've got my dad and my son, I've never really looked in on a personal level with Cancer. And of course, as a descendant, that's what you've got to do. Like that's the shadow side of
it's
it there. And when I started to look into it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. But it's probably or one of the last zodiac signs that I really went into, but it is on my descendant there. So yeah, maybe some shadow work and things will come up this month for me.
absolutely. So on it, so the descendant, you have your MC at the top of your chart, and that's your career, and then you have your IC at the bottom, and that's going to be your roots and what you've experienced. And then what Kate is saying is your ascendant is typically in that first house, and then right across in the seventh house of relationships is your descendant. And I've found it pretty common that usually we're kind of triggered by our descendant. I'm a rising Leo, so my descendant then would be Aquarius. And so Aquarius sometimes is a little agitating where it's like, I will sense the shadow side of like, oh my gosh, like they act like they know it all, and that's not true at all because it's my descendant. It's where I came from. So I wrapped up doing it Aquarius and now I'm learning Leo, where you wrapped up doing Cancer and you're
Yeah.
exhausted. You're like, no, I'm living the luxurious life. I'm not freaking baking you cookies. You bake me cookies. You know what I mean? Like,
I can, and which is I've always like you questioned some of the nurturing things with you. I can't cook, and I'm a Taurus, and Taurus I'm a good eater, but Taurus are cookers. They're meant to be like the homemakers, and I'm not at all. I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, let's just grab something on the way while we go out.
yeah,
I'm that fridge.
yeah.
We'll have it, or should we just get a takeaway? So it is, yeah. Not everything is quite too well. All your aspects, it changes it so much.
And
It
it's
changes.
so fun to learn about yourself. And then the minute you learn about yourself, you start to connect the dots for others as well. And an ascendant Capricorn, you're going to be about efficiency. You're like, let's just get it done. Who cares if it's nourishing or, cute or whatever, there's certain things, but really our descendant is actually, I think it balances us. It's beautiful. Like when I can come together in rapport with an Aquarius, we are an amazing combo. When you can come together with a Cancer, you're an amazing combo with that descendant there.
It's that missing piece. It's all
Yes.
part, the balance. It's the equal balance, obvious. So it fits. It's comfortable, really. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. I do
Yeah.
like Cancerian energy because they are very nurturing. And obviously, as a Taurus, I'm a touchy-feely person, and Cancers are touchy-feely people. So I do love, and I love that homeliness. that comfortableness that Cancer bring. You know, it doesn't always have to be like an immaculate, streamlined place that they're in, but it's always homely, it's always welcoming, and they're very good at making you feel comfortable. I think Cancerians, because they're very in tune with how you are as well.
Yeah.
You've got, you know, their intuition is just on that other level there,
Yeah.
so they're comfortable to be around. So this is a good month for just feeling
Yeah.
comfy,
Yes.
letting go of what no longer serves and finding your comfy zone.
I completely agree. What came out next was vacation. So that, I mean, it is July. So I assume a lot of you are going to be on vacation, and what a better place to allow
Hmm.
yourself to really settle into how you're responding to stress, to people, to things, to delays. Like allow yourself to be flexible, allow yourself to really take a step back and see everything that's moving around you and surrender control. Be the water. Be the water. You know, every chance you get into water, wash your hands a little bit longer. I think that that is such, you know, a conduit of moving emotion, but it also is like water is can get in every single crevice. It can be absolutely amazing, but it can be really destructive as well. But allow yourself to be free and pivot and be flexible and move. And then I absolutely love the next card because I am in a season where this is really, really showing me that the more that I come home to me, my feelings, my truth, and share myself unapologetically with the world as I am, meaning I love French champagne and unicorns. I mean, there's this juxtaposition about me, this duality that I've always apologized for. And now I'm like, this is just who I am. I'm many, many facets of one beautiful stone, as we all are. What will follow is financial flow. And so I think that financial flow to me is you will be a match for whatever abundance that you're attracted to when you are you, when you come home to you. And I think all of this is just making so much sense to me because it's like, let yourself fully emote. Don't hide in your shell and accept all of you, every emotion, every season, every color, all of it. And then give yourself a break by going on a little vacation, whether that be in your backyard and having a little picnic or whatever it might be, to just unplug. And the more that you return home to yourself, the more I think abundance will find you.
Yeah, that's lovely. Oh, it's going to be a good month.
I think it is. And you know, the chaos I think is that doesn't scare me at all. Like it actually excites me. And I'll tell a story. So in this card, it's storm spirit, and it's like Zeus in the sky with that lightning bolt, you know. And I'll share a story that happened on the retreat, which was wild, Kate. Like really, truly, this is wild. So last year at the retreat that I went to in Canada by Danielle Sterank, which is the Squamish medium, I had that first overwhelming encounter with a unicorn. Like I was in meditation and I just completely went my own way, didn't follow anything that she was saying. And the last year he's come to me a couple times and he has not told me his name. And he is extremely masculine, like huge white, like it's not glittery, there's no pink. It's like he is a white, stoic, very masculine, energetic being. And so my intention for this whole trip was for him to tell me his name. And so on the first deep meditation that we went into on that first day, he came to me just with ease. I didn't even have, you know, to ask. And he said, "My name is Adonis." And I didn't know what that meant. And so, you know, there's some other things that happened during that space. But when I came out of it, I journaled Adonis. And when I got back to my room where I had service, I Googled it and it said a handsome man. And I kind of laughed because I'm like, okay, this is funny. And so I just kind of let that be. And then 2 days later, we were given an hour to go out into the woods and write. And I typically write quite well. I love writing, but it also sometimes is channel. And you, as you know, we can't always tap into a deep channel. Like sometimes it's just gifted to us. And I knew I wanted to be by the water. So I went down by the water and I sat and I was listening to the sounds of the birds and the wind through the trees. And nothing was coming through. Like I think I secretly was like, okay, let's write some profound sonnet. I don't know. I must have had an expectation. Nothing. So then I was like, you know what? Put the pen down, just be, just sit. So I'm just sitting in the sand and I start to see, as if like you were looking in the clouds, you'll start to see shapes form. In the sand, I saw kind of a nose and an eye. And I heard, which I'm not very clear audience. I don't hear very often, but I heard, give me form. And so I started playing in the sand, and I'll have to post this on my Instagram. I posted on my stories, but I know you guys are going to want to see it because I'm even in awe of it. So I start creating, and this face forms, and it was Zeus, and I was like, "Is this Zeus? Are you Zeus?" You know? And I heard yes, and so then I wrote Zeus, and then I said, "What do you have to share with me?" And it sounds silly when I tell a story, but you guys, this is my whole body felt the presence of this intense energy. And it said, or Zeus said, you are my daughter. You are beauty, you are grace, you are forgiveness, and you are freedom. And it is time for you to step into your power. As a creator, you must hold space for others, but also yourself. A conduit is someone that holds space for others, but a creator is someone that holds space for themselves and others. And a creator is a god. And the human way is to be a conduit, but a lot of us on earth right now are more than just conduits. We're meant to do more than just the human experience. We're meant to collide the worlds. And I'm like in tears as I'm writing this. And then he was like, you need to stop searching for a father in this life. I am your father. And you came here for bigger things than just the human experience. And at that time, this woman who is a beautiful medicine woman, a Peruvian medicine woman, her name is Trish, and I really want to have her on the podcast, came up to me and said, I usually would never interrupt, but I am called to give you a healing. May I offer you a healing? And she had me get in the water, and she was, rubbing sticks on me and flowers on me and breathing. And I mean, I was trembling as this was happening. I was really, really emotional. She had me throw these sticks in the water and release an old version of me. And she asked me what my name was. And I said, Jenny. And she asked me again. And I was like, Jenny. And, I kept trying to say it with conviction. And she's like, that is not your name. And months ago, I had this meditation where I met the inner goddess, which is the Cancer. And she said that your name is Rose. And so I just said Rose. I just screamed Rose. And I felt her like hold me, and I fell into her chest. And we were both like trembling together. It was so emotional. And she was like, yes, yes, you are Rosa. And I was like, I mean, I felt it in every bone. I'm not changing my name, you guys, but this is just a spiritual part of me that I'm embracing. So she leaves, and I am just sat with this like extremely profound experience that I will never forget. And we go back to share in a small circle, and I'm sharing the story that I just shared with you guys. And then Trisha shares her story. And she said, I was walking through the woods and I was gathering these flowers and these sticks, and I didn't really know why. And then I saw you and I heard a message like, it's Jenny. I offer her a healing. And before then, she felt the presence of her mother who passed in 2007. And she'd never asked her mother to be a guide, or she never asked her for assistance or help. And her mother came to her and said, I want to work with you. I'm ready to work with you. And so she knew her mother was with her as she was offering this purging, this healing. And as I yelled Rose, she was so taken back because her mother's name was Rose. And
Wow.
so she felt that with her mother being there, the two of us. And so that, I mean, I'll never ever forget that. And then having the story about Zeus, I'm sharing it with another peer at the retreat. His name's Peyton. And Peyton was like, Jenny, you do know that Adonis was a Greek god who dated Zeus's daughters, Persephone and Athena. And now he's like showing up as this masculine unicorn protecting you. I'm like, no, of course I did not know that, Peyton. So I don't know what is going on right now with Zeus and then his card coming today. But I feel like if we realize that chaos is nothing to be scared of, chaos is something that actually needs to happen for us to come into more of who we are, and remember that we are much more than this one blip of a human form in the here and now. The channel that could potentially be open because of that disruption is just unbelievable. Like it's absolutely unbelievable what can come through you when you really start to open yourself up to the world of spirit and apparently Zeus.
Amazing. I love all of that. I love all that. Yeah, I knew that. I didn't know the whole story of Adonis, but I knew he was a Greek god. Um, there, and obviously Zeus. Wow, that's incredible. And then the rose. And don't you have a picture? Isn't there a shot of you with a rose already on Insta?
Yes, yeah, it's definitely been something that's always guided me. I go out and I'll say hello to them in the morning. Like I really do have a deep connection to my roses.
Yeah, and you actually have the complexion of an English rose. You
Yeah.
actually do, you know. If you looked at the traditional complexion, you have it for
Mm,
sure there. So interesting, interesting. And roses right now, this is the season for roses. And
yes. Yeah.
blooming, beautiful,
Yeah.
sweet. Interesting.
I
Well,
think we all need to start calling in the gods and the goddesses and the anything that you're drawn to. It's an energy that you have accessible to you. And so I work with Mother Mary a lot, but right now, I mean, obviously, I'm being very much invited into the Greek gods and just leaning into that energy and what wisdom it has to offer us.
yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens next on your meditations.
I know.
Clarity. Be like, well, where can we go from here? What's
I
next? Like, where can we go?
It was funny on the closing ceremony. We're really working with earth medicine, like the tree people and the plant people, and so I'm just in my own damn world as usual. And the Pisces moon at 29 degrees just takes me wherever the hell it wants to take me. But we had this Thunderbird medicine, and I fell asleep, Kate. Like I was out. I drank lotus tea, and I was just done out, and I don't remember a thing. And I was embarrassed and kind of disappointed. Like I just missed our closing meditation. And somebody was like, Jenny, you just got told you're Zeus's daughter and have a Adonis unicorn following you around. I think maybe you're good. Like maybe you don't need the Thunderbird medicine right now.
Yeah, yeah, quit while you're ahead there. Yeah.
So I think that, we all have different medicines we offer to the world, and it's not for everyone. Like you're not for everyone, I'm not for everyone, and we go through seasons of just needing different medicine.
So what I keep popping up because there's this new little thing going on Insta, and I can't help but think of you every single time, and you've probably seen it, and it's different memes and it's different voiceovers, but it says um I'm not everybody's cup of tea, darling, because I'm champagne. And I love it. And every time I hear it, no matter what accent or what, I always like, I love that saying. I wish I'd kind of found that saying, but it always reminds me, yeah, we're not everyone's cup of tea, but that's okay. But it
Yes.
does remind me of you all the time with your champagne channeling.
I definitely have gotten it sent to me many times, and recently I finally did it because so many people sent it to me that I finally was like, I have to do it. I have to do it real.
Yeah, definitely. It's literally you right up your street. It's you to a T. It's
Yeah.
you.
It was funny. We did it. We do a gift exchange at the retreat, and you bring a wrapped gift, and then it's 30 women, and you grab it, and then you try to intuit what it is, and then you try to guess who gifted it to you. And without telling the whole story, I felt embarrassed because it came to me. I was like, you guys, I know you're gonna think that I always am thinking about champagne and roses, but I'm not. I swear I'm not. But I'm just gonna throw it out there, which makes absolutely no sense. But when I hold this gift, I feel that it's saying like celebrate. Like I feel champagne and I feel rose. So I feel like maybe it's a rose quartz and maybe it's a deck with affirmations. I kid you not. I open it. The deck says celebrate you and it has confetti on it. And then the stone was a rose quartz. And the girl that gifted it was like, oh my God, like, all right, everyone's gonna line up for readings with Jenny because it was like I dialed in, but my mind was like, don't say that. Like it's not you know what I mean? Like how embarrassing. Like it's not a celebration deck. And but then I was like, no, like I was drawn to that gift because it is on theme with what I prioritize for my life, and that is go in the depths, do the work, explore the unconscious, prioritize healing, but don't forget to celebrate.
Yeah, and that's, you in all kind of psychic and mediumship work, we're always like, say it as it is, say what you see, literally say what you see, and what might seem mental and crazy for you, for whoever you're working with, they'll understand it. there. And it goes right in with the Cancer season of that intuitive energy, that this energy right now is going to be extra special. It's going to be extra intuitive. So we've got to say what we see. It's like, put it out there, be on show, don't hide away from things, say it as it is, be seen, be true to you, but intuitively feel what's right for you, intuitively feel what's right for your journey and your pathway there. Listen to your gut feeling, because this is the month it's really going to be highlighted anyway there, but more you'll feel it more, because it'll be calling you to your depths, calling you to what's going to feel comfortable there. So always say it as you see it, however random it is, and just listen to your heart, follow that intuition, definitely.
Okay, let's each do one more card for the new moon in Cancer, shall we?
Okay,
This will be fun.
what date
Ooh.
does the new moon come on? The full moon's on the 21st,
I will look.
which is the summer solstice. So,
Mm-hmm.
which is another fabulous time. So the new moon, 21st, new moon must be first week of July.
Yep, Friday the 5th.
Okay. I get back, I'm going to Tuscany on the 30th of June. I get back on the 5th, I think. Okay. Ooh. Shall I share mine first,
Yes.
or do you, okay, Ace of Wands. Fire.
Lovely.
Now, this is aces are like go-getters. The wands is like yes. This is the biggest yes ever. As an ace, it is again potential or the beginning, so we don't know how it will form, but it's super wrapped up in excitement, that spark of energy, that spark of influence. There's something creative that's going to be coming in with this new moon. New moons are great for new energy, but this is like, again, it can be connected to writing, inspiration, anything of a creative or spiritual nature. Those shoots that are coming off it is like, there's got potential for this new idea to grow. And the hand coming out of the cloud is like, this is unexpected. So you might have thought of lots of ideas, but there's going to be a new one forming on that new moon, something that will come out of the blue, take you by surprise, that will just ignite that spark of interest. And it will be like, this is it, this is what we got to go, this is where we're going to make some real growth there. Ground is nice and fertile, everything's set there, we've got the water, we've got the trees, got the stability of the home, so we've got it all there, we've got the air, so all the elements are there to create magic. This is literally the start of something magical, inspirational. It can be fertility as well, so fertility obviously in the general form, but also fertile ideas and a new excitement coming in. So I love that for the new moon, definitely
Me
loving that.
too. Okay, so this might not resonate with everyone, but I still love it. It's so beautiful and it's pink and lovely and it's a fairy playing a harp and it says make music.
Oh,
So I believe when we think of music, I think that we forget how medicinal sound can be. And something that, I recently experienced at the retreat was the power of drumming. And we did this drumming um, well, we didn't do it. We were in meditation, but this drumming moved me to tears. It made my body just release. It was so emotional. And then like sound bowls and, just a rain stick. And so whatever, it doesn't always have to be music through your voice, but I think that it's like make music, allow yourself to connect with sound and vibration and be heard.
and that card, music, it connects to Venus with the arts and the creative side, and obviously the color of it as well there. So yeah, finding beauty in the sound, but also even your voice, it can have a mine's not, I sound like a man most of the time, but some people have got such a beautiful voice, it just sounds
Yeah.
like birds singing. So there's a power in that. But yeah, I love sound baths. I love sound baths, and gongs. Oh, I love all of those. They're amazing. And I do love music, and it raises the vibration, doesn't it? Music really raises the vibration. If you're playing happy songs, you can't be in a bad mood. Cannot stay in a bad mood or be a sulky, moody, emotional Cancer if you play some happy music.
It's so true. I love 80s and 90s country. And if I'm being, moody, which can happen, my husband will put it on and all of a sudden it's like in just a snap of a finger, I'm brand new.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so fun. Thank you so much. I really am excited for this this beautiful month together. Not together, maybe we'll be together. Uh, I just feel like it's gonna feel, by the end of it, I feel replenished. I feel like it
Yes.
might be a roller coaster in moments, but it's gonna be like, there I am. Okay.
Yeah, in your comfort zone. We're gonna find our comfort this month. We're gonna find what feels right for us, what our root is, what our home, wherever it is. We're gonna find ourselves at the core
Yeah.
this,
Mhm.
and connect to that nurturing side of us that we all need
Yeah.
before we hit Leo. Before we hit Leo, let's have the calm before anything else first.
Yeah, we need to find our footing. So this is, honor everything you're feeling. Be so sweet to yourself. Find your footing because Leo season, I can't wait. So
It's
good.
fun.
All right, Kate, thank you. And you guys, if
Okay.
you're watching live, you'll see, but Kate has amazing, beautiful tarot deck that she always uses. So if you have any interest in this tarot deck or anything that Kate has to offer, or even a reading with Kate, the show notes always have her links. And yeah, I think that that's it for today. But thank you for listening, Kate. Thank you for being here. Happy
Thank you so
Cancerian
much.
season, and we will see you
Happy
on the
birthday. Have a wonderful birthday. Enjoy those
next.
celebrations and those roses that are coming up and the celebrations of your champagne popping, cork going everywhere, bubbles
Yes,
spilling.
I can't wait. I told my husband all I want to do is kiss him under a waterfall. That seems like a very small request, but it might be like he's like, "What? Where's a waterfall?" I'm like, "I don't know. I guess you'll have to find one."
We went to North Wales last month and we found waterfalls. It was beautiful. I was like, don't care what happens. I just want to go to a waterfall. Even if it's not on the way home, I want to find one while we're here because they're surrounded in them in North Wales, surrounded. So like we are finding one and we did. Yeah,
Amazing. Oh my gosh, that's funny that we both had that like on our list.
there's something special about waterfalls. And the kids come with me, and I was like, quick, have a photo under the waterfall. My son bought his new girlfriend on holiday, and I was like, oh my God, you both need a photo under the waterfall. This is going to go in your memory box.
Yes, that's what I
Yeah.
want. That's my wish. All right. Well, I will see you guys next, or we will both see you next season for Leo, and have a beautiful rest of your Cancerian season.